Hey Subbies and Friends, this is Lady T. Here it is Thursday, March 15th, and I'm just here, and I figured I would talk about some things I've been experiencing in the last month or two with my hair. Recently speaking, I've noticed from within 2 weeks a huge difference in my shedding, or breakage, I should say, when I'm doing my wash detangling session. Let's say the first time I had a really bad experience with losing a lot of hair. This was around, I want to say, February-ish, when I finally was like, I want to kind of start seeing what I'm doing with my hair and recording it. And I must have didn't wash my hair for almost 3 weeks. Okay, it was one of those episodes where I was kind of co-washing, but I wasn't really detangling thoroughly. Or it'd be like a week and a half or 2 weeks where I would just keep my hair in a certain style and go. And I noticed when it was right before I put those mini twists in. So I would notice when I noticed that session when I finally used the comb, I used the comb for the first time thoroughly, I noticed I lost a lot of hair. It was like ridiculous. And I told myself, okay, maybe it's because it's the first time I used the comb and it's been longer for me detangling and washing my hair, so maybe it has a buildup of hair. It was a ridiculous amount of hair I lost. Then the next week, maybe a week and a half later, I washed my hair using shampoo. I was using Giovanni 50/50 shampoo, and I actually used a comb right after I set under the hair dryer with conditioner on it and deep condition. And of course, with the protein on it, I knew my hair would be stronger, so I said, okay, maybe I'll try using the comb while my hair is after I deep condition. Now, mind you, I didn't wash the conditioner out at this point. I still had the conditioner in my hair, but it was already set under your hair dryer and deep condition. Now, this is the amount of hair I lost from just now combing it through this deep conditioner. You see, it's a huge difference from the last time I washed it, 2 weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago. Look at the difference. So clearly there was something wrong with the way I did my hair. So I like this method is definitely something good in it because less hair got broken off from a comb after, you know, washing, conditioning, deep conditioning, and then combing this little bit of hair. Immediately I noticed that my hair was not breaking and shedding as much. Now before, if I would have did this, say I was co-washing and I touched even when I would have been touching my hair just to comb it or even just to move it, I had hair on my hands. That's an example of breakage to me. You know, when you're seeing little hair strands, even long hair strands, but you're just constantly seeing hair on your hands after you touch it. So I noticed when I had the conditioner in my hair right after deep conditioning, I wasn't seeing that. Okay, now I'm done deep conditioning. I set under the head dryer. I set under the hooded head dryer for 20 minutes on low. Okay. Now the first thing I'm looking for is usually to see if the conditioner has kind of somewhat disappeared, because usually it'll go inside the hair strand. Now hair is warm, and I said that I was going to attempt to use a comb outside of after I deep condition, right? I'm going to see if it makes a difference. So now, because the product has kind of been absorbed in my hair, it feels a little weird using a comb. I must say it feels a little rigid. Like, you know, like maybe you should have had a little bit more water. I must say I'm not a big fan of how it's feeling a little like it's drying up. I like to feel a little bit more moisture, but I will say my hair definitely feels strong. So I'm just going to put another twist in my hair. But part of me wants to add water. And maybe I feel like I should have done this before I deep condition. I like combs because it make my puffy root lay down better. You see the difference on the left and the right? How these lay down better at the root? That's what I want. I'm working my way through it with the deep conditioner still on after I deep conditioned. I'm using that Giovanni 50/50, and I'm just going to rinse it out in a minute, and I'm going to moisturize. I wasn't so thrilled about the texture of my hair because, of course, when protein's on your hair, it feels a lot more rigid and stiff. So I was using a comb still, and I was working that comb through my hair, and I was like, man, it feels a little weird, but it's not breaking and shedding as much. And there was a huge difference in the amount of hair that I lost. And I know for sure that week there was a huge problem. That first week, or the week and a half prior when I washed and conditioned my hair, there was a huge problem with what I did. So I won't be doing that again. One thing I learned was that using deep conditioner and using a comb actually was better for my hair than what I did the last week. I'm not saying that's what I want to stick with because I didn't enjoy the texture. It was a little too, it didn't feel good touching it and putting a comb in it, even though it wasn't breaking as much. It just didn't feel stiff, okay? So I just have to find something that I know works great. Now, I know I will use the method I used last week over the method I used about 2-3 weeks ago. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you because I'm noticing that, you know, you may think certain things are normal, like how your hair is shedding when you're washing, and if you tend to feel like it's a lot, or you're seeing a lot of hair on your hands every time you touch your hair, you might want to reevaluate what you're doing because maybe that's not how your hair should be breaking or shedding. Okay, so I'm definitely going to try this week. I would told myself this week I would actually maybe rinse the deep conditioner out, then apply the comb.